Imagine walking into an arena expecting a normal charity show and instead finding yourself staring at a once-in-a-lifetime rock supergroup that shouldn't even exist. 6 lead singers, 6 legendary bands, one night only, and the man pulling every string behind the scenes? Not a producer, not a manager, but an Olympic ice skating icon who refuses to let cancer win. Scott Hamilton is about to turn Nashville into the most unexpected rock and ice spectacle ever staged, and nobody saw it coming. Most people know Scott Hamilton as the smiling, gravity-defying Olympic champion. But very few realize how much darkness he's pushed through just to stay here. For years, he's battled cancer and brain tumors, and each time, he's gotten back up with this unwavering belief that he's supposed to do something bigger, something louder, something that matters. That's why he created the CARES Foundation and later the Fourth Angel, an emotional lifeline that matches survivors with newly diagnosed patients. He's turned every terrifying chapter of his own life into fuel, and this year, he's channeling all of that into a show that already has rock fans losing their minds. And here's the wild part. This show wasn't even born for music. It started as a small idea to combine skating with live performance. But every year, it gets bigger, louder, more impossible to top. And this year, Scott didn't just raise the bar. He snapped it in half. Picture this lineup. Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon, Wally Palmer from The Romantics, Mike Reno from Loverboy, performing with his wife Catherine Street-Germain, Jason Derlaka of Journey, Jason Sheff, the longtime voice of Chicago, and John Elefante, formerly of Kansas. These are the voices that shaped entire decades. These are the songs you can still hear blasting in every car, every bar, every stadium. And Scott Hamilton somehow convinced all of them to share one stage, at the same time, for one night only. He calls them his heroes. He admits that, back in the day, he would have killed just for a backstage pass to see one of them. Now, he's not just backstage. He's producing them. He's the reason they're all standing under the same lights. It's like every rock fan's fever dream, except it's real, and it's happening in Nashville. But the music is only half the story, because what happens on the ice might be even crazier. Bridgestone Arena won't look anything like itself. Hamilton and his team strip out the glass, tear down the barriers, and literally bring the seats right onto the ice. Not near it. Not beside it. On it. 2 full rows. So close, fans can feel the cold air coming off the skates. So close they can actually hear the blades cutting the ice in rhythm with the live guitars. That intimacy is the secret ingredient. No giant stage. No distant rink. Everything collapses into one shared space. Musicians belting out the hits that define the 70s and 80s, while the world's best figure skaters move through the spotlights like living music videos. Scott says people never believe him when he tells them how mind-blowing the show is. Every year, audience members walk out stunned, saying, "Why didn't you tell me this was the greatest thing I've ever seen?" And Scott just laughs. He did tell them. They just didn't believe him. This year's lineup of skaters is stacked. Olympic champion Nathan Chen gliding across the ice to REO Speedwagon. Maxim Naumov and Keegan Messing tearing it up to Loverboy. Gracie Gold floating through emotional Chicago classics. And more elite skaters joining them, blending rock power with choreographed athletic precision. And here's what makes it hit differently. These aren't random covers. These are the original singers, performing their own songs live. The same songs people have blasted a million times during road trips and breakups and moments they'll never forget. It's nostalgia wrapped in something brand new. Every skate becomes a story. Every lyric becomes movement. And when the crowd realizes what they're witnessing, a rock concert fused with Olympic-level ice skating, they go silent or completely unhinged. There's no in-between. Imagine Mike Reno stepping up to the mic to sing Almost Paradise as his wife Catherine Street Germain joins him, while a skater transforms that love song into a physical performance happening right in front of your eyes. Imagine Jason Derlaka of Journey letting loose on those soaring vocals that fans thought no one could hit. Imagine Nathan Chen slicing across the ice to REO Speedwagon's biggest anthems, while Kevin Cronin watches from the stage, smiling like he's witnessing his own music come alive in a new dimension. That's what makes the show electric. It's not just nostalgia. It's reinvention. It's decades-old songs reborn in bright lights and razor-sharp edges. This is the kind of emotional cocktail you can't experience through headphones. You have to be there, breathing the cold air, feeling the music vibrate through the ice. But beneath all the jaw-dropping performances, this night has a heartbeat. Every ticket sold, every standing ovation, every applause break, it all goes straight into cancer research. The CARES Foundation isn't just a name. It funds actual life-changing research happening in real cancer centers. It fuels the fourth angel, giving the newly diagnosed something they desperately need. Someone who understands. Someone who's been there. For Scott Hamilton, this mission isn't abstract. He's lived it. He's survived it. He knows the fear, the confusion, the quiet moments no one sees. And he knows what it means for someone to say, "You're not alone." That's why this event exists. That's why he keeps pushing to make it bigger, louder, more unforgettable. And here's something most people don't know. Pulling off a show like this is brutal. Scott has to coordinate 6 touring frontmen, a house band, rehearsals, lighting, staging, and Olympic-level skaters, all without letting the event lose its intimacy. It's a logistical nightmare that somehow turns into magic by showtime. But Scott thrives on this chaos. Because for him, every year he produces this show is another year he's alive to do it. Another year he can turn his survival into something that might help someone else survive too. And every performer standing beside him understands that. That's why they say yes. Not for the paycheck. For the purpose. This isn't just a concert. And it's not just a skating event. It's a declaration. A promise that the fight isn't over. Scott Hamilton genuinely believes, that a day is coming when nobody dies from cancer. He says it with absolute confidence. He says it like someone who's stared down the worst and walked away stronger. And nights like this are part of that belief. They're part of the fight. They're part of the hope. So when those lights come up in Nashville and that supergroup hits the stage, it won't just be music. It won't just be ice skating. It'll be a moment, a one-night-only collision of nostalgia, emotion, and raw purpose. A night built by a man who refuses to back down. A night powered by legends who shaped entire generations. And a night that reminds everyone watching that miracles don't always happen in hospitals. Sometimes they happen on ice. If you were in the arena, which song would you want to hear live? Drop your pick in the comments, hit subscribe, and join us for more unbelievable stories from the world of entertainment.